We're down one dad this week, but I found the big red record button, so let's continue the show about fatherhood, gaming, and new dads figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Jeff, filling in for Trevor. I have a 2.5 and a 5.5-year-old.
My name's Gavin. I'm filling in for Jeff, and I have a 5-month-old.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, so we are down Trevor. He had to step out, as with all dads, it happens. People get sick, family gets sick. I had my time last week with sick kids, and they're still recovering, so it's been rough. It's been a rough January.
Yeah, I think there was I don't know, one of us might have upset some old hidden witch on a subway that didn't hold the
Cosmic
door
balance.
opener, or cosmic balance is off, disturbance in the force. I don't know what it is, because last week my dog was sleep is a pretty rare commodity. We're really lucky with our baby, but I take advantage of her sleeping, as in hey, I can get some more work done. And then the dog got really sick, so then it was just yeah, you thought you're going to bed? No, you're coming outside with me, and we're gonna stand around and you're gonna watch me do some really bad stuff. And then have to take me to the vet. So, but he's doing fine now, so
That's
he bounced
good.
back well. But yeah, and that's just a dog, so I can't imagine what it's like with you having. Were both your kids sick?
Well, one was just like a sniffly cough, but my oldest one, he's prone to ear infections, so that's always fun. He's got ear tubes too, so we've gone through that surgery, but one's falling out, so he's getting them again, and we're gonna have to go back in and put them under and put them back in. So it's not a huge deal, but he has to recover from drugs and taking a day off and all that fun stuff. But he's doing better. He's on the heavy antibiotics. So he's in bed, sound asleep. And then I caught whatever was going around, I don't know, at the office or here. And it was just a rough week. Took a day off work, and days off work are not quite the same when you have a day off with your sick kid. So I remember taking days off, and you could sit home and game or do whatever you wanted to when
just
entertaining. It's
make a nest out of blankets and just
yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen with a little one running around and having to entertain. But
entertain them when they are sick and
realistically
shouldn't be up and around. But
more drugs. Here's more drugs.
Yeah. What else can I give you?
Yeah.
How about I put on another episode of Paw Patrol and pass out?
Yes, Paw Patrol, please. I'm so sick of it. But gaming wise, I didn't do much this week. I did try or download Undertale. I always wanted to try that one, so I leapt into it. It's a pretty fun game. I recommend it. I won't spoil anything because you kind of have to try it out for yourself. But it's made by one dude and another artist, and they just did the whole thing. And it's crazy how the amount of animation and pixel art and the whole thing is a retro, nostalgic, perfectly right up my alley kind of game with a modern twist. It's awesome. I love it. Even the music he said he created, he just went off the music and he didn't edit it or it. Amazing. Just highly recommend it. It's a great game. But that was about it for me. I didn't get into The Witcher again. I didn't want anything too heavy with sickness and everything. But I don't know about you.
One, you get if you're sick, you're not really that cognizant. You're kind of right now. And then on top of that, with sick kids around, I could imagine you're more on call than usual. So to really just settle in.
Yeah.
You can't really, be oh, now I'm going to get some time to myself. It's not for a few more days.
No, not getting emotionally invested in any of my characters. Just easily sit back. Yeah. What about you? Anything?
Just chipped away at a couple titles that I've been working on. Mostly just a little bit of Fallout. Honestly, just too lazy to change the disc. Have you had that happen to you?
That's why I kind of went digital, because it's just you flip to it. It's gotten to that point.
I find with Steam, I hop around more frequently between games.
Yeah.
But if anything, though, I think the console and having like physical media forces me to finish what I start because I have a bad habit of not finishing games. So yeah, it's but then it's also bad with like let's say like for my 360 for example, I have a few games I still need to finish on that, and it's even harder to get myself to finish those because not only do I have to put the disc in, but I got to set the
Yeah.
console because it's not
Oh
even
no.
to the entertainment system. So um, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna
Just give up.
finish
It's not happening.
I, I think I'd be better off just like getting it on like Steam and then
Yeah,
opening
yeah.
it up and just starting again. Because that's the thing too is I'm so it's been so long since I touched the things that I forget what was even happening.
Right.
You know,
I think I
it,
did that with Mass Effect 2. I was pretty
yeah,
close to the end and I dropped out and then I can't go back. I don't know.
that was me with
So,
Dishonored. I got really
oh
close
yeah.
to the end. I love the game. I don't know why I stopped. Something shiny distracted me or something. uh, and then yeah, it's just I want to finish it, especially before the next one comes out. But I just don't know if I can pick up where I left off, and I also
Yeah.
don't know if I have the time to start from scratch. So I'm just like, I'm off. I'm done. It's like falling out from other TV shows too, where like I got so much catching up to do. I got too many other things. There's too much content out there, too much
Yeah.
good stuff to just stick with stuff. It's hard to like television shows and that. It's like every week there's something else coming out, and I'm like, ooh, that looks good. And I'm like, who am I kidding? I can't watch that.
I'll just read the blog on it, the next day and just get
So
a
like
feel
your
for
day is
it.
currently full. Like even if you had a reasonable amount of free time, there's still way too much content to
Yeah.
enjoy. Like there's a few choice shows that my wife and I enjoy, and that's about the extent. Everything else, it's just yeah. Some of it we're just letting it slide by. Like I haven't watched Game of Thrones in a long time.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
one.
know. I know.
That's one I will invest. I will have to watch. I will stay up and watch that one. But yes, I understand completely.
See, that one's hard because you have to try to, unless you have HBO,
Yeah.
you have to either be a good citizen and wait for it to come out um, on like digital streaming or whatnot, or be a not so good citizen, which is also not always the best.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe if once the CRTC for our international listeners, CRTC is like a media cable regulation board. Basically, just make sure that I don't know what they do. They don't really do much.
I'm not sure. They make your life difficult. That's
They
what they
make your
do.
life difficult, but there's that whole thing where now their package deals with our cable providers. They're gonna have to break up stations individually. So we'll
Yeah.
actually in Canada be able to order HBO by itself because right now the only way you can get HBO in Canada is if you buy a whole bunch of movie channels that you don't want because you already have Netflix. So
Well, all the sports channels too, which is like all involved in those tiers. And I
yeah,
don't really watch that. I don't watch sports.
we've
But
done
to get to HBO, like you have to.
yeah, you have to like do all you have to buy the special elite VIP exclusive gold package
Yeah.
just to unlock the ability to buy HBO, and it's like, oh, bugger off.
It's exactly like a video game, right? You just
It
have to
is.
unlock those levels, and you know,
Oh,
can't do it.
yeah.
But I would like to
Who
see
knew
those
Dell and
prices
Rogers have been doing the pay to win model for like years?
ever,
Yeah,
ever. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. But when they do go like a la carte kind of thing, it would be interesting to see what kind of price point they're at.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
when they
No, I'm
come out
serious.
and unbundle everything. But yeah, I totally get it. Like investing in a new TV show or something, it's like
Mm,
getting any other thing, like a game. You need
yeah,
it needs to be a hit like within that first couple hours. Otherwise, I drop out. Like if a pilot or the first or second episode don't
yeah,
fly with me, I jump out.
yeah. We
Master
had
of
that happen
None.
this year. We were just like, yeah, no, it's not sticking with us, and we just let it drop.
Yeah, yeah. It can't be too much of a slow burn. It's got to be a quick fix. Quick fix. We only got so much time. We
Yeah,
gotta make it count.
it's like
But
I don't have enough time for anything but instant gratification. So just
no. Well, and then you mix in, work,
yeah,
freelance work, getting sick, taking care of kids, birthday parties, school, blah blah blah. just wait till school and birthday parties come out, and there's a lot going on. So, but rough.
I'll make her like I'll make sure that like she's down as like Jedi for her religious orientation, and and then that way we don't have to. I'll just say it's like, oh, it's not part of the Jedi system.
Can't do it. Yeah.
So do it.
Which I will mention, I finally did see Star Wars.
Oh,
It was
nice.
it was
And
last week. It was good. It was great. Like for what it like, you had to kind of believe what it was, right?
yeah.
And be in that world, which was great. And the best part was is that I wasn't spoiled by anything
Oh,
because oh my, like any YouTube video that wasn't related, somebody would comment saying, "Don't go below." Some idiot spoiled the movie in one line.
I didn't even
So
bother with comment sections or anything for like.
no, just stay away from the internet. But I did finally see it. It was I had like an extra day off work. And I went mid-afternoon, and I was the only person in the theater, which was good and lonely. But
That's fine.
it was a good movie, and I was looking at all the old games, like all the old Star Wars games, just to see if because it kind of rekindled everything.
Yeah.
And see what I could play. And they released all the old Super Nintendo Star Wars games on PlayStation. So I was like, oh, those look so good right now. Just the whole craze taking over, and my kids have their lightsabers in hand, so you can't really get away from any of it. But yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it.
It was thoroughly entertaining. I liked a lot of the new characters. I got like, a bit of a man crush on that Poe.
Oh yeah.
He was awesome. He was great. I was like, it's fun to have like this cool pilot guy. Plus, I really like the actor. He's always good whenever I see him and stuff. So, and yeah, I thought Boyega, the what's his name?
Oh, Finn.
Finn.
Is it Finn? Yeah.
Yeah. I liked him back when I first saw him as an actor, which was in Attack the Block, which was a
Oh yeah. I've seen that one. Yeah. I did not connect that.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd seen him. I think the only other time I ever saw him in an acting role was he played a drone pilot on 24 when they did that new mini series in London.
Oh, okay.
So he played an American drone pilot who got like accused of murder, but he didn't actually. His drone got hijacked, so he's like this poor like just this new like.
He's like, what did I walk into? Oh my God.
Exactly. And he did a good job on that too. So yeah, I really like him. I like the actress who played Rey. I thought she was great.
Yeah. Strong
Buddy
performance.
posted on Facebook a video of her like deadlifting 185 pounds.
Yes, yeah, her training for that.
Yeah,
Holy.
Impressive. But yeah, and everybody, even Kylo Ren, I thought he was making an interesting villain.
Yeah, they got to mess him up a bit. I think they got to make him less. Well, he's not nice, but kind of nice.
But he was straddling. Like he was still. I think it was a part of him inside that still is.
Yeah.
Like with Vader as well. Vader always had that part of him still kind of hearkening towards the light side. But yeah,
No, it should be good.
I'm really excited to see some of these spin-off movies as well. There's this one called Rogue One.
Rogue One, yeah, next year. Yeah. Or this year? Next year?
I think so. It looks great though, and the cast is amazing.
Yeah, and they, yeah.
Oh,
no, it should be good.
Yeah, a heist movie in the Star Wars universe.
Perfect.
With Hannibal and Donnie Yen. Sign me up.
It's sold, right?
Yeah, geez.
They're gonna make a killing off that too.
That's just two of them. There's like so many other cast members that are just phenomenal. So.
Well, I have a buddy too that plays Battlefront, right? Not Trevor. I know he gets it on Steam, but I have a buddy on PS4 that has it, and he wants me to get it, but it's too expensive right now with the content. I think we've talked to Trevor about that. But I'm like, oh, cool. If they had Force Awakens stuff, like I know they have like the one map, but if they start putting out that like a Kylo Ren character and stuff, and I think they've publicly said that they won't do it. So they're like going to make a whole game based, I imagine, based off the movie and just charge another $100 and get people will pay it. I'm sure they will.
That's why they're doing a new instead of just expanding on the base that they have, they're like, no.
Let's make more.
It's a brand new set of servers that need to get populated.
Yeah. Well, then you fragment everything. And that's what I always hated with I was big into Battlefield when it was on PC.
Yeah.
Um, well, it still is on PC, but way back when, I think Battlefield 2 or something, I don't know. But then it got so fragmented because they pumped out like expansion packs, sequels, expanded to consoles. So I,
Unless you buy the game with the season pass
yes, yeah,
and
which is a
stick
must now.
with it and play it consistently, like multiple times a week, then you just get left behind.
Yeah,
Um, Luckily, with Battlefield, because it is such a large arena, um, you can still kind of have some fun, even though you're just like a kid playing in a sandbox while the grown-ups are having, like, like you're not really contributing. You're just there, and they kind of pat you on the head, and they run off and actually do the important stuff. And then
oh
you're like,
yeah, I'm not contributing. So I'm the one
oh, yeah,
crashing the helicopter.
sure you are, buddy. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm gonna fix your tank. Yeah, okay. Just
Yeah, sure.
just whatever. Just don't use any explosives.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
I
see
don't know.
where it goes, but I'm sure there'll be a Star Wars themed game and spin-offs and
Yeah.
next episode spin-off DLC and
I just think it's a shame that the quality of the experience is being hindered by their profitability,
yeah.
or their quest for profitability. And I think with a juggernaut of a of an industry of a franchise as Star Wars. I was going to say industry, but then actually, that was right the first time. It is an
Mm.
industry.
Yeah.
Star Wars in itself is an industry. Um, Something that big, you'd think that they could take a bit of a hit.
Yeah,
For some
right?
reason, like it just seems like,
Fan service, like just
yeah,
here's
it
something.
feels very much like they know people are hooked, and it's just like, well, sorry, but that's the price of the drug. It's like, but I really want it. Yeah, we know. That's why the drug's so expensive.
Yeah. First hits like $50. Your
Yeah.
second, third hits are gonna be
Or even free, like that beta test that open beta test that they did.
right. Yeah, which I did download. Yeah.
All that was just a taste.
Yeah. See,
Just
get you
enough to
hooked.
get you
We
hooked.
now discovered it.
Yeah.
Star Wars a drug.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Sponsored
just,
by EA.
yeah.
Didn't say that. Whoops.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is I just wish that there was a little bit more, like, it just seems like at every turn, um, this one particular game, most notably, but I see it in a few of the major AAA titles, that there's always like this extra barrier, an extra pay barrier, an extra this, an extra that. You're like, but you guys are doing
Yeah.
fine. Like, you're making record-breaking money, and I understand you wanting to maintain like high profit margins, so that way you can reinvest it, and make an even better one next time. I get that. I understand it's business,
Right.
but there's a threshold that you can hit where you're like, okay, now let's just like provide service to our customers, our paying customers who already paid us for it. It's the same with I found with like Dying Light, for example. They did a really good job with. They even gave their customers a heads up. They're like, hey, we got to raise the price on our season pass because the thing that we're making, the expansion pack,
Oh, is better than
add-on, it's actually turning into a full game. So we're going to add $5, but we're not going to do it for a few more weeks. So you guys can go ahead and jump on it now at the price it was going to be if you're on the fence. Because after that, we're going to raise it. And I thought that was great. It's like, yeah, you know what? I understand. You got to raise it because the thing grew better than you anticipated.
right.
And that's
Right.
cool. I'm excited to play it. And thanks for the heads up. I will take it as an offer, and I will pay for it now.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just,
yeah, that's interesting, right? Like they offered you to save money. Like
yeah,
here, this is going to happen. Here's our plan, right? Instead of
yeah,
here's a paywall.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And
But
I thought that was very commendable. So,
well, even with well, I don't know if I'll ever finish Witcher 3, but they have that huge expansion that's coming out
yeah,
that they've said is almost as big as the original game,
yeah,
and they will charge, I think it was $19 or whatever, but it will offer, another 40 hours, and it's got all these new areas. It's not like rehashing anything. It's all new assets, and this is what it's going to cost. You can get it. You cannot get it. It's not going to impact the original game. It's what it is. It's an add-on. So
yeah,
it's to kind of segue us into, their next venture or whatever, which I find, when you're honest with people and kind of give that plan. I think more people would buy and respect that versus buying a game and be like, oh, in order to get that character, I need to pay that $1.99 or wait
Yeah.
for that map because my buddy's playing it because I can't get it.
I think
I
an
don't.
audience is far more receptive to certain price points if they feel a level of honesty from the person providing it. Um, Whereas if it just feels like they're trying to keep their hands in your pocket, um, it makes the consumer a little bit more skeptical. You know, even to go back to the idea of cable providers and packaging channels and stuff like that. It's like
Right.
you guys are doing fine financially. Like I saw your you know your quarterly profits and they're fine. Like I'm TSX. Like I can see how well your company's doing. Like
Yeah.
you don't need, but then at the same hand, it's like that's why they're doing so well. So it's hard to divide the two, and I don't know. There has to be kind of a balance, and I think sometimes, and I think that the customers and the consumers can see when the balance is tilted to the pursuit of profit as opposed to the pursuit of service for the customer.
Yeah. And I could see, like, I guess the other end of that spectrum would probably, like, maybe this is another episode for another time, but Kickstarter, right? Which is kind of the opposite end of, okay, I can get on the ground floor, get the entire game, or, invest this little amount of money on something that's going to be promised. That's more often than not, it's about the art of the game or it's about the essence of a game versus I need to make a ton of money. So I can see a lot of people being split, right? They buy the big game like Battlefront and they get hit with a paywall, or they buy a little game like Kickstarter, get in. And some of those games, well, a lot of those games either have delays or they don't get made or they have to cut back. I've had a couple of successes with Kickstarter in some video games, but I like Mighty Number Nine has been delayed like 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
as they fix it, and that was a big one for people of Mega Man um, fair to get in on, and they expected their product, and like I don't know, I can see everyone's being pulled in every direction. Where like usually you would go to, or way back when I was buying games, you go to the video game store or wherever, you buy your game, you take it home, that's your game, and you played it for months, and you were done.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, what DLC? What's going to break? What's not going to be published?
Yeah,
What's
it's like the model of games used to be more like like a toy,
Yeah, yeah,
and you would buy it, you would enjoy it, and then you would be done with it.
right,
We're now it's like this model of games as a service, um, and also games as like more of an experience than a thing that you would like a puzzle or a story or an interactive story. Now it's like this more of a, especially like with online games, they can be very much like this. Oh, we're going to provide you a service for multiplayer kind of esports fun and all this. I, I think it's valid, but on the same hand too, there's just something nice to be like, I like what you made there. I would like to take that home and enjoy it. Here's some money, thank you. And
yeah,
just the simplicity of that, the simplicity of going to a video game store, buying a game, bringing it home,
right.
playing it, enjoying it.
Like,
Um,
what's with the future? Like if I pop in and like if you went back to your old Xbox 360 and say you bought something was, online all the time, and then their servers are gone, then is the game kind of cut in half for you, or
yeah, that's
it
the thing.
doesn't
That's why
function? Or
I tend to avoid um, like multiplayer only games now because I've seen servers die.
yeah, yeah,
That's why I like single player games because you don't need a server. It's you're just playing the game. Um, I think multiplayer games are a lot of fun. There are some multiplayer games that and like I'm saying this as somebody making a multiplayer game. Um, I think that they are great, but like you need that support if they're going to be online only.
right,
Um, I think that's the thing is like you want to make sure that the game has lasting power and that the game can be something that people go back and enjoy on like this craving basis where they're like, oh yeah, it's been like a year or two since I played that game. Let's do a round. We used to play it all the time. You know, let's do it.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but like if you have a game that's based more on like a community of online peers that have all moved on to other things,
Yeah.
and that server's populated by them, then it's like you and your friend might want to revisit, but unless there's another 62 people to fill the map, it's like a pretty lonely match.
That would just be me again, driving a helicopter or piloting a helicopter, smashing
Yep.
into the ground alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally get your point. It's got to be
Right.
supported. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. There has to be something going on, or at least something that you can do offline. Whether it's offline multiplayer or whether it's a single player campaign or offline co-op or what have you. But
and those are really intense games too, especially if you've been off sick or under stress or work related woes or whatever.
yeah,
You got to be in that
yeah,
mindset and no breaks.
yeah.
And
Sometimes you just want to sit and just unwind, and
yeah.
that's why like Just Cause is fun for just. I just want to fly an airplane under a bridge. I don't want to do anything.
Did they fix that yet? I thought they
Yeah,
would.
yeah, they did
Yeah.
a patch. It improved the load times, and then on top of that, I play in offline mode, which helps a lot too because it saves them pinging the server
Oh, right.
because there's all these leaderboards for activities. So how many kilometers have you driven? How many kilometers have you flown? How many kilometers have you done this? So every single action you're taking in the game is being compared to a leaderboard, which is just eating up back-end resources,
Wow.
which is a lot of resources to allocate to something that I don't care.
Yeah. Wow, I've flown 17,000 kilometers. I might want to, keep that leaderboard going and
Yeah, it's like,
you know,
yeah, but like I think it should be a thing where you could play in offline mode and then
turn off. Yeah. Well, even
well,
like a data impact, like on your end, right? Because it
yeah,
has to communicate out. So I know it's not going to be that big. It's probably just a text file or whatever, but
yeah.
it adds up if
When it's
it's,
updating in real time, it seemed to really slow things down. So I played in offline mode and it works fine now.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
so I've just been too lazy to switch discs away from Fallout. So.
Yeah, right. Oh, digital only,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the dad. Yeah.
But
Well, uh,
yeah,
I
I
think
was trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to mention. Oh, just about content and digestibility and how much stuff we have. There's one last thing is people who like with Canadian Netflix or just Netflix in general and how like it's region specific on what library and access you have.
right.
I remember when Netflix first came out, all these people were like, "Hey, let's switch our IP address so that way we can
Oh, right.
watch
Yes.
Netflix and all that." And that always, because I was dumbfounded by that because I barely had enough time to enjoy what content we had in the Canadian one. This is before having a kid. And I'm just like,
Right.
how
Right.
how much time do you have to binge watch like 90s sitcoms? Like, why? What are you doing? Like
Yeah, like a series. They're going
a
through
full
series.
series.
Yeah.
And like I'm all for throwing on a couple episodes of Friends or the X Files just for the giggles of it all, but like when you're just like marathon, it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like I like watching shows and movies as much as the next person, but I think there's
I love when it asks you to, like after 3 or 4 episodes, it'll be like, "Are you still watching?
sure. Are you still watching?
You sure you
Still
don't want to
alive?
get up and stretch your legs? Maybe get outside,
Should
throw
we
a
tell a
snowball."
loved one?
911 just in
Yeah, yeah,
case.
yeah. We're gonna
Press stop, or you're.
by episode 407. It's like we have sent paramedics. They're on their way.
Well, I saw someone online too. They found all the hidden categories on Netflix. Because
Yeah,
that's why I always hated it. You can't. Well, you can find what you're looking for if you know the name of it, but it's not very good at suggesting things. Like it'll take certain things you've watched, but like sometimes the kids will be on there and they haven't switched accounts, so I have suggestions for Paw Patrol and then like Breaking Bad and like,
yeah, yeah.
so it gets messed up and you can't like add or delete them. But I think
No,
someone's discovered all their tagging system, which is like I don't know 3,000 4,000 like tagged categories. So you can go on in the back end and select like it's not as general as action adventure, but like
yeah,
ninjas and like old school Bruce Lee or something, and
yeah.
it's got all these other tags. But I found that interesting too because
Yeah, I'm curious to run those filters through to see what ones I've missed. I've scoured quite a bit of like just the genres that I like,
yeah,
um, but even then it gets refreshed all the time. My my list, my to watch list is way too long. So
I hated the in progress ones too, because again, like if I jumped into something
yeah.
and then jumped out, it would sit there just
Or if
taunting me.
you accidentally click something,
Yeah, yeah, and you don't want
it's
anyone to
like
see. Like, whoa, sorry, I didn't mean to click
I
that.
did not click that. I swear to God, I did
Yeah.
not click that.
I don't want to watch Magic School Bus. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're like scrolling, and it's just like it loads up, and it's like
Yeah, yeah, no, same
I
thing.
got nothing against Cat Williams, but I'm not watching Cat Williams, and like that will throw like a wrench in the works for your
Right.
algorithm, and
Here's
then
all your related stuff.
and it's like all these other things come up, and I'm like, I'm not in it. It's like you accidentally click on like not scary movie, but the scary movie, and you're like, no, I don't want to watch
No,
bad
no.
stuff, and you're
So
just like, get out of there.
with that, like with all those algorithms and like having it like pre-select stuff, make it easy, whatever. With I hate on Sony, so on PS4 specifically, they've now added like a community live stream stuff to your games. So if you go to like say again Witcher 3 and you go on the icon and it's got the live streams of who's on Twitch, who's on YouTube, who's playing the game, whatever, and streaming it, they'll be at a different part of the game,
Yep.
possibly ruining it for
Yep.
you. I don't want the integration there, and I don't think you can turn it off. Like it's part of
I don't think
their
it's on mine.
experience.
I haven't really been.
Maybe I have to
Can
turn
I?
it off. We have to look.
That or I think I'm oblivious. I think I just like I see icons and stuff underneath, but I don't. I just I
Yeah,
get to
no.
it and hit go. I don't really care.
Well, I don't want to watch someone playing the game I want to play. Why would you put it there? Put it in another
Yeah,
spot or like a
maybe
related game, maybe. I don't know.
bury it in the UI, or
Yeah,
like have it
exactly. Like
like
everything else.
you go down and there's like right directly below. It's like play view streams. Like okay,
Right, right,
it's like either play it yourself or watch somebody else play it.
right.
But instead of having like the actual footage icons up,
Like a
it's just
screenshot of it. Yeah,
yeah,
which is like the ending of the game. Oh, great.
yeah.
Thanks. Thanks,
It's
buddy.
like oh great,
Star Wars spoilers right there.
yeah,
Great.
right there.
Awesome.
It's like, oh,
Well,
like now I know what Kylo Ren is Kaiser Sose. Awesome.
spoiler alert. Sorry.
Spoiler alert: Kylo Ren is Kaiser Sose. Uh,
Maybe on
on that
that,
note,
that Star Wars note, the spoiler note, don't look it up.
yep,
We'll end our two-man show
yep.
there for New Dad Gaming. We hope to have Trevor back next week. We wish him well and hope he gets better and, you know, has the week that we had in recovery and gets back here.
Recovery. No,
Recovery is always.
I'm hoping all's well for him. It'll be good to have him back.
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner, but it really you gotta take time. You gotta take time.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's what
true.
it is. Yeah.
But as always, to our viewers,
Complain like a couple old men about how the TV has to be turned on twice,
ugh, come on, get up,
not just
turn
like
it.
chunk, chunk.
I love those dials. Meant like you were doing something. Turn the channel.
It was very
Turn.
cathartic. It was very cathartic. I think we should bring those back.
All right. Well, again, sign, like, newdadgaming.com. Trevor owns that sign off. I'm not going to touch it. That's his. But again, as always, subscribe or like. That always helps us out. My name's Jeff. I have a 2.5 and a 5.5. I'm going to bump him up to that half.
Ooh.
Getting there.
I'm Gavin. I was gonna say I'm a. I'm Gavin. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it seems like we're all exhausted.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, I know. It's not. This one's not coming in though. That's another video altogether.
Your facial hair. All right.
Should do a time lapse. It's never gonna come in.
Yeah. My name's Gavin. I have a 5-month-old.
All right, that's it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.